Never mind your digestive system.
You're dead, my guy.
Right. For God's sake.
2024's brought a doom and gloom. Now fetch me a ghost well groomed with broom. Sup? So, how much did your 2024 suck? Mine sucked harder than my ex sucked. On the lollipop of foolish hopes she could change me. Well, job done, hun. I am an AI-generated cartoon now. Anyway, I have high hopes for 2025, but not necessarily in the real world.
What the f?
Enter the Matrix. I mean, enter the Matrix.
Oh, hell yeah. One of my many past lives.
Oh yeah, Keanu the One, Silver Yaga Reeves, is also here. We shall be following the journey of Ghost, both because he stays true to his name,
Sir.
and because I wouldn't touch Mrs. Pinkutt Smurf with the paint, the brush, nor the canvas that is Will Smith these days.
I am a Libra.
Also, Niobe's campaign is the more difficult of the two campaigns in a game that, now that I'm replaying it after 20 years, I struggle to comprehend how prepubescent K ever managed to beat it in the first place. Also, just look at this. Ghost, the true warrior he is at peace in that chair. Niobe, meanwhile, is tweaking, possibly due to dreaming of future summertime entanglements.
Why do you do that?
Do what?
Check your guns.
Now, admittedly, absolutely no one was done clean in this game, but nobody was done dirtier than my boy Sparky, who goes from your typical underwear model heartthrob to the molten hate child of Seth Green and the Mexican hairy dwarf Porcupine. After that session of blueballing and marveling at those breathtaking 2003 visuals, we can at last begin the game proper, with casual post office errands which, if the music in the game has anything to say about it, are highly epic and super tense. More importantly though, I finally get to call back the groomed ghost with the broom thing as I promptly start wiping down the floor with the friendly local participants. It would be an understatement to say the combat in this game only aged a little, but if it ain't still stupid fun. What's less fun is shooting.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Pew, pew, pew.
Driving.
Keep following the plane.
And climbing.
Oh no!
Thankfully, Ghost specifically only does very little of the second of those three mentioned things, so onwards with our journey.
This is not a drill. This is a drill.
After concluding our post-office errand, it was time to trek to and through the local airport. I wish I could tell you more about the story in the game, but the only thing that truly stuck with me after this replay was just how shameless of a glorified playable trailer for the third movie this was. I mean, they literally end on an actual trailer.
But I got a feeling it's gonna be one hell of a ride.
And the most interesting thing that happened at this airport, for all intents and purposes the second chapter of the game, was that its boss fight kicked my ass so hard on the normal difficulty.
Another one. Another one. And another one.
I had to cave and look up the PS2 cheat codes and make Ghost invulnerable.
What a pussy.
Shut up. It's not like that alone remedied everything and secured smooth sailing from there on out. Because there's no cheat code I could find for the health of the occasional side. And boy, let me tell ya, the sewers after the airport?
Never mind your digestive system. Where the hell is my young girl as hairy cell?
Getting to him, Johnny. Chill, true.
Nah, I've been idly rubbing a mental one out at the back of your filthy mind long enough. It's time you explain what the fuck I'm doing here.
But
Oh dear God, would you just relax? If he says we're getting there, we are getting there.
What the? Trin?
Oh my. Of all the bad bitches you could have dressed me up as, it had to be the purple alien girl with tentacle at. As if you weren't pitifully self-deprecating enough.
that is enough.
What? Bitches like Claudia Wolf from that Corporal Bistain of a Silent Hill movie.
Admittedly, not my proudest moment, but you're a legendary rocker boy.
And you've the most personality anyone played by Carrie ever had. And I'm dead, virtually rotting away in that pathetic, self-deprecating loner's head.
Okay, but guys,
Touché.
So, Trin, wanna go catch up some? I could play you some tunes. You could take a break from hammering Omega over everyone's head and tell me what it's like being 1,000 years old.
Just as long as you destroy more than your guitar strings with that powerful metal arm.
Hell yeah.
Good morning, Starshine.
nothing like letting the cool kids shag so I can continue my gaming at peace. Just like high school, eh? Right, moving on. Where was I? Ah, yes, the sewers. Everybody's favorite section in any video game, and it just so happens to be the longest section of this particular video game to boot. Truly a double W if I ever saw one, but really, it's more of a triple W, because on top of all that, these sewers feature two of my favorite things about the game. Protecting your friends who, in spite of one's reasonable expectations, they might be able to handle themselves now that they are plugging in and have their dedicated nicknames like Wyrm. Instead, slowly, with full acceptance, walk into a single rifle aimed right at them.
That's when the devil comes for you.
What do you mean, protect? This is the equivalent of telling a toddler not to touch fire or jump out of windows. And the navigation arrow, proving herself to just be a moody woman who will sometimes tell you precisely what she means, sometimes instead take you on a labyrinthine journey, which will frequently have you running into walls.
Not doing that no more.
And sometimes just straight up not say anything for no discernible
What's
reason.
going on here?
Y'all gon' make me lose my mind.
Hey, dickweed, where do you stash your booze and snacks?
Nowhere, asshole. This isn't a real room. It isn't even the real void. And even if it was, you're dead, my guy.
Right. Forgot for a sec.
What happened to your tattoos, Johnny?
What can I tell you? Omega Bag there knows her stuff. And she really can appreciate some good old charisma and an impressive.
Right, cheers. Next, please.
I have been held captive in a chateau in the mountains.
Yep, you know what that means. Time to fight some sexy vampires and sticking with my wood.
Why are you gay?
The game lets you run around the iconic hall from the movie, but somehow does not have you fight anything in it. Aside from the urge to refer to your girlfriend as your little ketchup pack in those few wonderful days. But very swiftly it indeed passes some oversized mosquitoes your way who, unlike your girlfriend, don't care if your wood is broken. Nice. though Sparky believes this might have something to do with disrupting their code. Yeah, leave it to a programmer who looks like something between a Christian rock star and a gay corn star to get away with that kind of smooth talk. I'ma disrupt your code all night, baby.
Well, I disrupted Johnny's code real good. Might be something to it.
Why don't you go back to rebuilding Omega, you money-hungry good-for-nothing other than sitting on a couch pseudo-matriarch slag?
As long as Omega's a new nickname for my impressive.
Don't try that again. Anyway, we exterminate a couple more overgrown ticks.
Bam. Bop. Bada bop.
Enjoy ourselves some more of that top-shelf cutting-edge climbing. And a bit of dancing later, our chat Sparky informs us Mrs. Pinkutt Smurf needs rescuing. This of course leads us to the second reason why this section of the game is easily the best. A very kinky Belulululluci.
I've been watching you. You're looking for your friend. Now it is all I ever think about. All you must do is kiss me.
I could beat it out of you.
I like the sound of that too.
Yeah. Okay, Ghost, you go get Jada. I'ma stick around for a sec. Miss Belulululluci, about that beating.
You have to make me believe.
Alas, all good things apparently must come to an abrupt end, and so after a lazy Stephen King reference, instead of Miss Belulululluci, we cuddle up to the rear end of Mrs. Pinkutt Smurf. And to make matters worse, immediately after, we are forced to endure her impeccable driving.
Oh my god, like, can we talk about like the political and economic...
Yes, I actually had to blow up an innocent civilian to shake her loose. Sparky briefly reminds us of his shining career
as vestal as my bunghole
in the adult business, and we kindly sawed off. And just as we're enjoying some well-earned rest, a wild trinity appears to rudely interrupt it and quite literally butt into our dream. But Ghost doesn't mind, of course, as we know from Belulululluci.
Such longing for something you will never have.
What is love?
Ghost is crushing hard on Trin.
What? Him? When I'm shaken up with Keanu Reeves? What is this? A prequel to Always Be My Maybe?
Mr. Ch, Mr. Soul, Mr. Ass.
We really do all have our delusions.
If you'd let me finish. He's crushing, but is also self-aware enough to know there's nothing ever happening there.
I told you only as a friend, as your brother.
I thanked you.
Why?
Because I felt freed.
From what?
Expectation.
Although, going off of what he says throughout the game, his singular solution seems to be to just fap till the end of his days.
What's that?
Onanism.
Is that why so many saints are blind?
Celibacy's a hands-on job.
Get me out of here!
Is this how guys flirt with the girls they crush on in the MATRIKS universe? If so, I think this world might have bigger issues than some evolved malware and octopus robots.
Okay, here. As a palette cleanser, enjoy the one stage of the game everyone was replaying endlessly.
Oh, this should be good.
It was, and honestly, still is the highlight of the game. This right here is the quintessential Enter the Matrix experience. A 1v1 utilizing all the combat system has to offer in some nice enough environment with a kick-ass tune to underscore the whole thing. Shame it has to be surrounded by so much truly abysmal fluff. Once you make it here, you might as well call it quits, as the game done just peaked and only garbage is left. Starting with some more of Mrs. Pinkutt Smurf's immeasurable vehicular skills, and she can't even blame the square wheels we had to contend with on the PC version, followed by the 3 spanking seconds of Keanu.
Of course. Of course he dragged me into this wet fart of a video for 3 disappointing seconds. Look here, it's the look of unfucking surprise.
Quiet. At least you got your own entire game.
Touché.
Afterwards, the game switches to the OG Tomb Raider from 1996 for a moment.
Oh, you'd better leave me out of this. I only ever played for sport.
Then Mrs. Pinkutt Smurf has a flash of clarity after we protect her, where she decides to end it all herself.
Cray cray.
Then we blow a place up, but not before the world's most climactic agent fight.
The thing goes and
then a bit of Seraph, then a highly effective reminder not to fight agents. And then you run around for about 17 business days, and after all that...
Hello there.
You're rewarded with an actual insemination simulation for the second final stage, and a boss fight consisting of holding a button over a perfectly centered, ever-shrinking literal dot on the screen, not to deal damage, mind, but simply to ride out the clock for the very final stage of the game. Nowadays, a lot of people online seem to view this game with a very generous serving of nostalgia. But unless you were a kid with no interest in or access to debates at the time, you ought to remember this game was not very well received even in 2003. One of the chief complaints was, why would they make this game and have us play as a nothing burger Trinity simp or Mrs. Pinkutt Smurf instead of one of the main trio, but mostly Neo, of course. The players have spoken and the devs have listened and delivered an absolute meme of a sequel, only for it to be received generally even worse.
So why didn't you play that?
Well...
But in a video game, the Jesus thing is, well, lame.
Okay. I'll make do with my 3 seconds of cameo fame. Thanks.
And I thank you for watching. Like, share, leave a comment, subscribe, you know the works. And I'll see you at...
Plugged into the system and the agents don't play fair. Miss Belulululluci trying to get me twisted on some truth or dare. Navigation, arrow points to nothing and don't care. At least my mission isn't to find Jada Pinkutt's hair.
I am a savage.